Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Co-op64. Today, we are doing the Highguard review. We are doing the Resident Evil Requiem preview and taking some listener questions at the end as well. But before we get into that, Nick, how are you feeling?
Doing all right, man. It's another day of sun, baby. We are back at it again. We're coming off of one of the longest podcast shoots we've done in a minute. I'm just going to leave it there. Bonus pod. Connor and I tried to name 1,000 games this upcoming week. It
was peak, dude.
Bananas.
I don't think I've ever laughed harder on a podcast.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You said it multiple times during the podcast. I think that this is one of two things. It's either the best piece of content we've ever produced, period, bar none. Nothing will maybe ever top it. Or it is unlistenable. And there's no real in between.
Yeah.
So it was a blast, though. We had a lot of fun doing it. But no, I'm doing all right. First weekend without proper football. Pro Bowl's this weekend, right? Yeah, that's happening probably right now.
Right.
I don't care about it because no Patriots players are in it because they're in the Super Bowl. But yeah, no, I'm very, very excited for Super Bowl next week. I'm excited just for another week of gaming. Also, it's February 1st. We got new Patreon news, but also February 1st means we're kicking off this banana month in gaming. Like, this is going to be a crazy month for games. We were literally just talking about it. Reanimal, Romeo is a Dead Man, Mario Tennis Fever, Requiem, Neo 3, Mugenics. Like, Connor, what are the odds that I get obsessed with Mugenics? Like, non-zero chance.
Right.
It being only on PC makes it a little bit tough.
Only on PC.
Only on PC.
When I was tough.
Or
I
that's
would
what,
love to take that on the go with me on Switch too.
When I was doing platforms for High meter. Yeah. I saw that was only PC, and that was a knife to the heart because that game could very well be up my alley.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to see what the critical response is. I can already tell what's going to happen. People are going to be like, where's the Mugenics review? And I'm just going to be up there playing Mario Tennis Fever, baby. I'm going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm too busy getting after it and having a great time. So can't wait for this month of gaming. Very, very stoked. I'm excited to hear more about Resident Evil Requiem today from you. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited for everything that's coming up. How about you, man? How are you doing?
I'm feeling good, ready for the snow to be gone. It has just been such a nuisance for a few days at this point. I really enjoy it once it falls and I'm inside all cozied up and just enjoying the look of the snow and everything. But after a few days, I'm like, get the fuck out of town. It's just been so cold that none of it has melted. And also, nobody in Nick's apartment complex and all the apartment complexes down the street, nobody shovels snow. Nobody digs their car out.
Yeah.
Infuriates me.
Connor comes in, and here's the thing. I want to be very, very clear. I'm not judging you right now. Like, you have your right to be upset. It is objectively annoying. You're okay to be upset.
This might be my biggest unk take, my biggest boomer take. But I can't stand it. Shovel your car out, please.
It did get to a situation where, I mean, there's like a foot of snow down. It's cold as hell, and I remember just like being like to my neighbor, I'm like, you shoveling out your car? And they're like, hell no. And I'm like, I'll go with what you go with. So yeah, the whole street, nobody did it. Our street wasn't even hit by a snowplow until like 4 days after the storm. Like, it was really bad. So
you were just driving over like a foot of snow? I just wasn't
leaving. I didn't leave until Tuesday, and the snow came in on Saturday. By the way, I put a finger up while you were talking about snow. We're getting more snow on Tuesday.
It's supposed to be a wintry mix.
Okay, that's not bad.
And hopefully it's more rain than snow, and it wipes away some of the snow.
I mean, it's looking more snow as of right now than
at least
than rain.
On Apple weather, which is wrong 95% of the time.
I mean, weather, especially in Ohio, I would always say that weather in Ohio leans. It's going to not be as bad as it says it's going to be 9 times out of 10. So very, very excited about that, though, because I do like a little snow day. And we got another fun one tomorrow where we're streaming from home. So I will miss you guys desperately. And the next week, we're going to be streaming from home, most likely, with Elden Night Rain.
So what is the plan for Night Rain? Are we going to try to get Brady up to where we were when we left off, basically, and then we'll start digging into the DLC?
Yep. So I think the plan there is get Brady back to... Because also, we need to get back in the swing of things. Right. We need to get those reps in. Also, the people that we're going to be facing, the night farers, right, are going to be souped up in some ways too.
Well, you have the option to do those more powered up versions of them.
I did not know that, so that's good. I
think at least. I think you select it. They're separate on the
menu. Yeah. So I'm very, very excited about that. That's going to be super fun. But Connor, you want to know what's even more fun than Elden Ring Night Rain? Housekeeping.
This show is made possible by all our lovely supporters over on Patreon. You can get this show 3 days early. You can get the Casual Gaming News conversation 3 days early, and you can get a bonus episode of the podcast each and every week. We just did predicting the life cycle for the Nintendo Switch 2. Arguably the best bonus podcast we've ever done.
Yep.
And then we just shot another all-timer with Name 1,000 Video Games. We're going back-to-back heaters, dude.
I legitimately think that bonus pod we have not missed this year.
Predicting Metacritic scores was really fun as well. So a lot in the backlog to enjoy for the bonus episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation. At the next highest tier up, you can write in to be a part of those two shows that I just mentioned. You also get Recollecting Retro once a month, which we just went to a store in New York and also took a swing by the Nintendo store in New York City as well. So that was a lot of fun. That just posted, so go enjoy that. And you also get the Co-op 64 podcast once a month. At the highest tier, you get the opportunity to write in to be the fourth topic on the Co-op 64 podcast, and you get your name read at the end of each and every podcast. Twitch, we are playing more Highguard on Monday. We enjoyed it enough to run it back for a second Monday, and we're going to be talking about that game more today. On Tuesday and Thursday, Nick is playing Chrono Trigger. 2/3 of the way through?
Yeah, 2/3 of the way through. Man, I love this game.
Yeah.
I will be dumbfounded if by the end of this is not like top 5 all time.
Awesome.
Like it apparently gets better, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know how it gets better.
Sweet.
So I'm stoked. Can't wait for it. Show up, hang out. It's gonna be a blast.
Dark Souls on Wednesday with me. Fucking Blighttown, man. I fucking hate that place. That is literal hell.
Really?
I think I'm through it though. I went on a little excursion through a tree that was like this winding. They had a bunch of winding paths, and I kept falling.
Okay.
Whatever. But we finally got to the bottom, got to this really cool area, and now I just gotta get back on the main path. I'm going to a castle with a bunch of snakes in it, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm not gonna watch that. Correction. I will watch that stream. I'll have it up. I'll be listening to it. I will not be watching the snakes. I'm not a fan of that.
No bonus stream this weekend, but look forward to Resident Evil Village in VR the following weekend on Friday or Saturday. We haven't locked that in yet. But,
Probably Saturday.
Stay tuned with the schedule that we post on Patreon, but also in the Discord where we also post the schedule. But you can join the Discord, a community of over 2,900 community members talking about games, music, movies, just having a great time, making friends in the community.
Talking about the Rumble, dude. We had the Royal Rumble last night. Connor,
nice.
Connor. It was pretty okay. It was not what we needed. Two very predictable winners. It was Roman Reigns putting the ones in the air and Liv Morgan with her return. So, but a lot of people were talking about that. If you're a WWE fan and want to get excited for the road to WrestleMania, best time of the year to do so in that sports channel.
Merch, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs. You can support the channel that way. Leave us nice reviews on Apple Podcast services. And last but not least, we will be doing a meet and greet at PAX East, around PAX East in Boston that weekend. You do not need a pass to PAX East to meet us. If you are in the Boston area, we'll be meeting up at a local establishment that Saturday night.
We will know by tomorrow afternoon what that establishment is. There's 2 spots that I'm deciding between at this point, and I just need confirmation and a phone call from. I'm going to be reaching out to both spots to make sure that we can have a large party there. Well, the first meet we did in 2024 was one of the most fun nights of content type stuff that we've done in a long time. Can't wait for PAX East. It's going to be a blast.
And then, let's just hop into the show proper. No hot takes this week. We're just jumping right into the Highguard review. Do you want to kick this off with your overall thoughts?
Sure. I've played 20 plus hours of Highguard at this point. This game came out Monday. We're shooting this on Sunday. So I've had multiple long play sessions, took a couple days away from it. And then the news of 5v5 came in on Friday, literally right before we shot CG&C. And we didn't want to talk about that because we knew we were going to talk about it on this pod. But also just like, this game is a lot. This game, I'm very excited that is a headline review for the channel because there's so much here to discuss within Highguard that I think we could go for hours on this game. First impression, so overall thoughts, this game is very good. I'm at a 7.5 out of 10 as of right now. I think that this game is very good. It is a lot of fun. If you're playing this game with friends, it's a freaking blast. But obviously, a lot of video games are a lot of fun when you're playing them with your friends. I think that the biggest plus that this game has is it is extremely unique. There is not really any other game that I've played that's like Highguard. A lot of people look at it as amalgamation of a bunch of different game modes. Some are done extremely well, some are done not so great. But at the end of the day, the result is when you're doing the siege phase and when you're playing Capture the Flag, you're having a freaking blast. And there's not a lot of games like that. Like, I don't know what your point to, like, this game in the live service market right now is there's a Capture the Flag mode that is as fun as Highguard's. Let alone, obviously, like siege modes, Rainbow Six Siege is brilliant. I don't want to take anything away from that game. A lot of my flaws in this game come from it not being more like Rainbow Six Siege. But the result of everything that this game is doing, everything it's trying to do as of right now, I think is a very good game. 7.5 out of 10, and I'm stoked to hop more into it. But 20 hours in, I feel like I have a very good grasp on this game at this point. I'm very excited to talk about all the different aspects of this game. I feel like there's a lot of rhetoric online of people just not understanding exactly what this game is, what it's trying to be, how it's supposed to be played in some level. So I'm excited to hop in and give some clarity on some of this stuff. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10 from your boy. This game is very, very good, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Like, I'm excited and also just very curious to see where it ends up. Connor, you've played probably
7 or 8 hours.
7 or 8 hours, yeah. Where like just impressions? You don't need to put a score on it or anything, but how are you feeling about Highguard right now?
If I were to give it a score, I would probably be in the 6.5, 7.75 range. I think this game's a lot of fun. I think that it's the Little Caesars of first-person shooters, and by that I mean it's pretty damn good when you don't have somebody in your ear telling you how bad it is.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the person telling you how bad it is hasn't played it enough to really grasp what it's going for. We've had a ton of fun hopping in with me, you, and Brady. It's filled with really high intensity moments with really solid gunplay. You can very much tell that this is from the developers of Apex and Titanfall. It feels the shooting feels just like Apex.
Apex it's 1 for 1.
Yeah,
it's 1 for 1.
And for better or worse, I'm not a huge fan of Apex's gunplay.
I'm not a huge fan of it either, but I do think that, like, objectively it's quality.
Yes.
Like, it does not feel bad by any means.
Right.
It just feels not like Call of Duty or not like Fortnite to some level.
And I think that a lot of people just need to meet this game on its terms and what it's trying to do. And if you find yourself bouncing off of it because you don't like this aspect or that aspect, I think that's perfectly valid. But I think that there's a ton of quality here. And like you said, I've seen some rhetoric online about this game being uninspired and not very unique. I completely refute that idea. I think this game is incredibly unique. It's pulling from a lot of familiar things, but the way that it stitches all of those things together is wholly unique and very fun and very enjoyable. Some aspects of it, some phases of the game are certainly lesser than others, but those highs are very high. But there's just a lot of little things here also that add up to me lowering that score. This is a game that I don't know if I'm going to play after a month.
Yeah,
but I'm curious to see what kind of legs this thing has. The developers are listening seemingly and updating it
fast,
and their roadmap is pretty impressive. I think there's a really good base floor here to build off of if they listen to the community, and I think that people just are not giving this a fair enough shot.
So here's where I want to start before we get into all of our nitpicks. I want to explain Highguard. Because I feel like if you are listening to this review, you've probably heard a ton of things about this game. A lot of them are false. like I've heard of this as a hero shooter way too often, and I kind of disagree. You are selecting a hero, and you are shooting in this game, so it's not like 100% wrong. But I think that there's a certain connotation of gameplay expectations that come along with it. So first, if you're someone that hasn't picked it up, or you just want to listen to this podcast because you listen to every CGC, one, thank you so much for doing that. But two, I feel like it's necessary to explain what exactly is happening gameplay wise, and then get into all of the nitpicks of all this. So you start out the game, you select one of 8 people. We're going to describe this as the 3v3 mode, by the way, just to keep it easy for you. There's which is the main mode. In my opinion,
feels like the entire structure of the game is centered around 3v3. That's why 5v5 I don't necessarily think is that much of a needle mover as many people expected it to be.
So 3v3, you and your 2 other teammates pick up your agent, your hero, your warden in this game. And so you select one of those 3 people. They have special abilities. They have a ability that is going to be something that charges up every like 45 seconds ish for some people. Then you have a more passive ability that just is what your character is doing, and then you have your ultimate ability, which is your game-changing moment. You pull it out during the big times, and can really affect the battlefield in a major way. So you pick one of the 8 people. You hop into the game and you are dropped into your base. You also select your base. Your base is going to be made up of a site and a B site, but also there is a core of your base that if you take out the core at any given point of the game, or somebody takes out your core, the game is over. The team that takes it out wins the game. Other than that, there's a scoring structure for the base that I'll get into in a later phase. So you select your base, and then you are going to, in first phase, the first moment of gameplay, you drop into this game, you are then fortifying your base. They give you 5 walls to go and harden basically around any of the sites for that your team, the opposing team is going to try to attack. So you're trying to make it more difficult for the opposing team to destroy your base, get in, plant a bomb. You do that for 2 minutes. Then after that, you have the gear up phase that also lasts 2 minutes. This is where you go around the map and try to loot, collecting shield.
Real quick, is the first phase 2 minutes?
I'm pretty sure it's
I think it's shorter than that, actually.
Let me check. But I believe that it's either that or 90 seconds. We'll run back when I get into. Actually, right. Let me just keep going. And
next phase is looting.
Yeah, go on.
Next phase is looting. You have this wide open map to run around on your mount as well. If you want to get around quickly, you have like a horse or a bear that you can hop onto and zip around the map. You're trying to get shield. You're trying to get better guns. You're trying to get armor. You're trying to also get, I think it's called Vesper, or they're like these crystals that you can get. You have an axe similar to Fortnite that you can utilize to chop away and get these resources that you can then turn in at the store to buy better equipment. Or there's like base breaching specific weapons like zip lines and rocket launchers that are good for like taking down walls or getting to a higher area that you want to consider trying to pick up as well. This phase is all about just looting up. It's 2 minutes long. It's pretty quick. I do think that there's flaws to this specific phase, but I'm sure we'll dig into that after we get into past the description of this game.
Yes. By the way, the first phase is 1 minute, which kind of feels when we get on complaints, it will be even more asinine. Then you hop into the third phase. After you and your squad are looted up, it is a capture the flag for a flag that spawns in one of 3 locations in the middle of the map. You're trying to take the flag to the enemy base, plant what is known in this game as the shield breaker, which I mistakenly called the storm breaker over and over again in Connor and I's matches. You take the shield breaker and plant it on the base of your enemy. This will then open up a door, like this giant dome that's around it. It'll open up about like 1/8 of the dome that's around it, and that's where you're able to enter in to the fourth phase.
That phase is just capture the flag.
The third phase is capture the flag. The way the capture the flag though works is 2 minutes. It is trying to plant the flag. After those 2 minutes, you will enter what is called overtime. At that point, it is if you die, you're dead for good. You still are able to plant the flag in that moment, but it is a shootout 3v3. You're trying to eliminate the other team, and if you eliminate the other team, it auto plants the flag in their base, which this whole game is about doing damage to the other team's base. In the final phase of this game, after you plant the flag, if you were on offense, you were trying to play search and destroy, raid, detonate their bombs, whether it is the A site, B site, which will do a certain amount of damage, which is 30
and there's a
damage.
Shorter timer for going off.
Yes.
So it's easier to get one of those planted and get it to detonate.
Yep. Or you can go for the big boy. There's one core in the middle of their base, and if you are able to pull off the detonation for that, like Connor said, a little bit of a longer time, more difficult to pull off. But if you are able to detonate that, game's over, you win. It is Golden Snitch-esque. And so you have that moment. That is your fourth phase. That if when you are sieging, you have a certain amount of lives, and if you are defending, you're able to constantly respawn. There's no like sort of system there. It is not time based. It is live based. So you're going in, you're trying to raid the other team. take out those spots. If you're on defense, you're trying to kill the other team enough times to stop the raid. In this game, also, there's a revive system, so a kill isn't necessarily going to be a kill. There's also a confirmed kill sort of mechanic in this game where you walk up to the person's dead corpse, takes about 1 second, and then that means that they cannot be revived. Once you go and either detonate enough bombs on your raid to win the game, or the other team kills you enough times, it will then go and cycle everything back over. You're back in your base, you're trying to fortify, so on and so forth. You do that until either the other team's base is destroyed, or your base is destroyed, and that is how the game goes. Your base has 100 damage. Planting the flag on the other base does 30 damage. Detonating an A bomb or a B bomb does 35 damage. And then if you successfully defend without your team getting a plant, it does 30 damage to the other base. So if somebody's trying to raid you,
Plant or detonate?
Sorry, detonate those bombs. That you are very correct. If you go and defend properly, it does 30 damage to the other team. So the amount of times that a flag will be planted and then you go and defend successfully, your scores will go and basically reset 70 to 70. Yeah. So that's your general overview of Highguard. That is the rotation of this game. And the first positive I want to hop into is, tell me another game that plays like that. There is no other game on the market that one has a capture the flag mode that feels as fun as this one. There's no other game that has like a section before a siege based thing. Like Siege exists, obviously. I don't want to like discredit how good Rainbow Six Siege is and how replayable and how many characters are now in that game and like all the things that work in Rainbow Six Siege. That game's awesome. But like the pre-session, the capture the flag section, in my opinion, is sort of the secret sauce to this entire game. And the map sizing of the capture the flag is basically perfect. I love that section. But I want to that is the uniqueness of this game is the first thing that I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that should be celebrated more. When you look across the industry, especially in the shooter, multiplayer shooter genre, a lot of teams are just copying what's already popular.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals is just a ripoff of Overwatch, straight up, but with Marvel characters. That's the only reason that game is successful, and that's the only reason that game is not panned as being a straight up ripoff, because people like these Marvel characters a lot. You look at Valorant, a game that I personally fucking love. Just a ripoff of Counter-Strike through and through. It has powers, it has its differences, but like the structure is exactly the same. There is no other game structured like this, period. Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's very inspired by other things, but the way that it stitches it together is wholly unique, and I think that's awesome.
So now getting into just the biggest negatives are the first two phases of this game, in my opinion. But before even hopping into that, this game has an issue with just like, you can't change your sensitivity in the menus. They made certain menu changes that people had complaints about a few days into it, which, once again, I think that this team is doing everything right as of right now. They're listening to fan feedback in a way that you hardly see any teams. I was talking to Matt about this last night. A lot of teams, when they produce a game, you produce the game and then you go on vacation after your day one patch. Like, you're able to like take time off. This team getting a 5v5 mode stirred up immediately, nuts.
I can't wait for a 3v3v3 mode.
I don't know how that would work.
I don't either, but they had a mode at some point that was a 3v3 times 8. There was 8
really?
teams. Yeah, and
That's
they were like,
nuts.
it's absolute fucking chaos.
I mean, we'll get more into that, because I'm the future of this game.
Multiple shield breakers.
Yeah.
And you have to just plant on each other's or whatever. So then you have like 4 matches going at once, technically.
And then one detonation. Maybe there's only one bomb in that situation. It could be awesome. Anyways, so there's certain settings shit in this game that's like ridiculous that needs to be there. I want to hop into the characters too. I want to hop into all the pre stuff. The characters, I think a lot of people, when it comes to the way that they look, very generic. Yeah. Not inspired. Like,
not memorable.
Not inspired, not memorable.
I don't look at them and I'm like, these are some cool character designs. Like, I look at Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Valorant, and I'm like, even Siege, I find relatively interesting and unique. These guys are just like generic superheroes, like pieced together. Like, I don't know.
But then again, I also, when I'm talking about a multiplayer game, sometimes I don't need memorable characters. Call of Duty Warzone, who gives a crap? I understand that there's people running around as Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj in that game.
Yeah, but those aren't have classes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the character designs kind of stink. Some of the character abilities are also not that unique.
That's the case with every,
but that's the case literally for every game ever. I do feel like, though, in this game, some of them are a little bit unique, first and foremost. but also they play very well in this type of
they're
sandbox. They are fun. I've tried out every single character. I like some more than I like others. But
like par for the course. Though.
But that is the fact that there are those differing layers to it and different tiers where I've been smoked by my least favorite character in this game multiple times. And that's what a good game does, because it's like, man, I should be able to do that. Let me hop on as that character, see if I can also start smoking people.
I've been playing as Slade, the fire guy, and I find his kit very enjoyable.
I've been playing as the ice guy.
Utilize
often, but literally I played as every single person. I love the Condor person initially, which is a hero or a warden in this game, where they are basically a scout sort of situation where they're able to toss a bird up, turns into a UAV real quick. Their ultimate tosses a bird in the air that throws smoke down, and you're able to, if you are in that smoke and you're an enemy, it will go and show where they're at, and you're able to shoot through the smoke where they're blinded and everything. Great ultimate. And like now they're like my second least favorite character in the game, and I played as them for a long time.
Nice.
And I think that's awesome, because I did enjoy their kit. I sort of realized the shortcomings of it in a lot of ways, and I was like, great. Play as other characters. Cool.
And the utility usage and team composition definitely feels very impactful.
Yeah.
Like if at first I wasn't using my abilities all the time and I was forgetting, I was just focusing on the gunplay, and you can really start to sway the tide of battle by mixing in these different abilities. And also, I'm really curious to see how team comps are going to affect people's ability to raid and be more efficient with their play style and kind of set themselves up for better chance of success as they go along if you have a better team comp and you have good communication going.
For me, there's a character in this game named Mara. I don't love playing Mara because I feel like some of their kit is a little bit weak. They are such a cool character in this game. And I told you and Matt about this. They have an ability where they can set up a spawn point anywhere in the map where you can spawn in, because otherwise you have to spawn at your own base, or if you're in the siege moment, you have to spawn outside of the base. This allows you to spawn inside the base. But during the siege moment, you have like 6 lives when you're playing 3v3. This gives you 3 more lives and puts you in the base. And it's like, if you don't know that detail about this game, like, that is a game-changing level, big brain strategy, but it's also just like so basic that like you should know that. Using your kit and abilities like that in this game are important and are impactful. So where I would say this game lacks in like identity visually, like there's abilities that there's a character with an ice wall, and there's a character that has a fire grenade base. Like there's all that is still here. I would go and counteract that, being like, there's also things that work with just this game that are unique to this game because of the game modes it's offering within it. So I think that the heroes are relatively great. Like I think that is a major tip in the cap for this game's favor. Once you get past the initial, it doesn't look fun. Because like I also think that just the world and the setting of Highguard is relatively bland. I don't think that it's bad. I just don't think that it's anything
doesn't
awesome.
pop off the screen
For
at
sure.
all.
Now we hop into the actual gameplay. It's a 1-minute thing at the start to reinforce your base. The fact that I am consistently at the start of games, especially if you're playing solo. This game is not meant to be played solo. It's meant to be played with friends. It's made to be played tactically. It's made to play with comms on. Like this is a strategy game. If you're playing this casually, you're not going to have as much fun. You're not playing the game properly.
And in my opinion, you can't hold it against the game for not catering to solos. If they had this design in mind and this is how they want to design the game for 3 people with comms, then I think leaning into that is the right call.
Well, and guess what? You can talk to your team and everything. Like you are supposed to play this game with a mic. Like when we're playing Valorant and you, me, and Brader are playing, and the teammate that we have that is we're playing with, if we're playing ranked and they don't have a mic, they're playing the game wrong.
Right.
Like that's a fact. And so you have to go and also have that understanding. There's a lot of people playing this game that are playing it like it's a Call of Duty, where they're like, I'm going to do my own thing and I'm going to go off and do this and I'm going to loot this and I'm going to raid this way. And it's like, if you're not playing the game, like you're going to get steamrolled by a team with comms. Just steamrolled. Because it happened to me multiple times playing this game solo. This game is fine to play solo. You just need to have the expectation of getting steamrolled because you're playing the game improperly. But with that being said, you get into this base like fortification phase, and it really does feel like, okay, I'm just gonna put my 5 walls just anywhere around this map. I have some strategy to it where I'm like, okay, like I want to fortify the Golden Goose, and this if we choose this base, this one's a little bit easier to defend because it's a little bit smaller. The one that's a little bit more wide open, let's completely let that one be screwed over. Let's fortify the Golden Goose and let's fortify the small little room. And like, that's with me, you, and Matt talking about it, and we did that, and I think that strategy does play. There is a little bit of strategy to it, but
It's
also
very minimal strategy.
it's
though.
very minimal, and it's not anything that feels important.
It doesn't feel good either. It's
Yeah.
not like, I don't think there's any strategy, as you said, or like any payoff of really planning out where you're going to place these walls. It feels very inconsequential.
And you have to do this multiple times in a game.
Yeah.
And is it 1 minute of time? Yeah. But the fact that I'm waiting around every single time I play this game for 10, 15 seconds during the fortification phase feels crazy. And guess what? That's, if I'm with you and Matt, it's even more time because we're just going fast, right?
That's not a positive, but it's also not an overt negative either. It's just a whatever aspect of the game.
But it just shouldn't be in it, or it should be better. That's sort of the deal.
Right.
Where it's like, if you want it, like, if they wanted to make this game easier and like just a little bit more streamlined, they could fortify the 2 bases. Or it could be like, which base at the start of the game do you want, or like which detonation site do you want to have walls up on? Boop. And then get in the game. Like, it could be during that base phase compared to putting it on the player to play how you want to when it doesn't really affect the outcome of the game. There's never been a game that I feel like has been decided by where a wall was put up.
Right.
And that's bad. So you do this phase, you're able to also select what weapons you want at this point. Next up, the gear up phase. This needs to be retooled in a ton of ways. This is a fine phase. I think that the complaint that people are like, man, I'm just running around and not getting into fights and everything, and like I need more action.
Go play Call of Duty.
Play Call of Duty. It's not what this game is for.
Yeah. And I just don't understand how people have that complaint for this game, but then go and play a battle royale when there are stretches of times where I don't see anybody for 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking for people too. I'll be going out of my way, and it can just play out that way where teams have been wiped and people have moved on and are just kind of not in your general area, and you're just looting and scooting for a stretch of time, not seeing anybody. There's no action. This is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Before the shield breaker pops, and then it's all out action.
But even then, like as people are starting to wise up to how this game is played, the amount of time that I'm getting to the shield breaker, because you can see the storm up in the air of where it's going to end up, I'm getting to the shield breaker 30 minutes before it starts forming, and the other team also is
30
getting
seconds.
30 seconds. Thank you. 30 seconds before it starts forming, and the firefight begins even faster.
Right.
Also, this game, the way that the loot works is it's your classic color coded type of weaponry where you get the blue weapon, it's better than the gray weapon. You get the purple weapon, that's better than the blue. You get the gold weapon, that's better than the purple. The issue of this phase is basically in the 2 minutes where you're collecting shield and you're collecting guns. Everyone's going to end up with what they want at the end of the 2 minutes.
Right. Even if you die and get sent back and are kind of, you have to wait out the respawn timer, like it's 20 seconds. You're probably still going to have enough time to get the guns that you're looking for anyway. So it doesn't feel like there's enough risk reward here at all.
There needs to be a little bit more RNG in the game when it comes to your loot boxes. Like round 1, there needs to be a ton of blue weapons, but give me a purple weapon in there, a couple where I can go and pick that up and be like, I am now more powerful than somebody else, like, and have that thing. Because basically what we're doing is, by all of the boats being risen by the equal tide, it's like, why is this phase even in the game? Like, literally we could just start going capture the flag, and I think in round 1 you get blue weapons, round 2, but like, I've also had moments in this game where literally you got off last night. Matt's on the West Coast. I took a long nap yesterday, so I was energized and everything. And there was a moment where I had gold shield, Matt had gold shield, we're playing a 5v5. 2 people had purple shield, and 1 person had gray shield still. They had the worst shield. And then they eventually got back, but they died enough times where their shield went away, and they were under leveled because they didn't loot properly. So if you just don't loot properly, you could not be with the rised boats. But I really don't know if you're playing this game like even somewhat properly, where you wouldn't like just fall into having decent loot. Like and that's not the way it should be.
It's just a matter of finding the guns that you're looking for that you personally prefer.
But even then, like I have a kit that I want, and I'm able to, even if I die once, I'm getting that kit every time. every time.
Oh, interesting.
Like because I'm opening enough loot boxes.
I find myself using guns that I don't find
Oh, really?
particularly optimal, though I do find most of the guns in this game pretty good and pretty fun to use.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out. I haven't played enough hours to be like, this is what I'm really looking for here.
But the way that this game works too, with the loot pool is shields and guns. Guns, you have a couple ARs, you have a couple SMGs, you have 2 shotguns, a sniper rifle, and then you also get raid tools during the siege phase, whether it's a rocket launcher, a zip line, or a hammer. Daddy loves his hammer. I love that hammer. There's also so freaking much.
Thumper things to break down walls. Those to like breach. Those are really effective and kind of essential.
Also, Connor, you don't know about this. Matt officially has the nickname of Matt the Dome Splitter Lucid.
Dome Splitter is a game changer.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in the siege phase. But there are certain other tools that you can pick up in this game that are legitimate game changers during the siege phase, and that feels good. Though what I'm learning is it's not about the weapons or the guns that turn the tides. It's those extra things, whether it is me getting a couple more charges up in my hammer to be able to break down a couple walls, or it is Matt. There was one point where we had 3 dome splitters on a team of 5, and literally it was awesome because we just came in from everywhere. Yeah. It was awesome, and so stuff like that is fun. But when I'm picking up loot, everyone and their mama is thinking about what gun am I going to get and what shield am I going to get and how is that going to change the battlefield. That doesn't matter in this game. That's a huge negative. So the first 3 minutes of your game, kind of useless. And that's my biggest knock against this game.
They feel inconsequential. Yes. Though there are moments that I do enjoy. I like mining in this game. Like the little mini game is kind of satisfying, and then being able to charge up for your next mining session or whatever to then be able to just break it immediately. Like that's satisfying and fun. And I like having a big bank of currency for when we get into the raid phase and I'm able to just buy as I'm respawning, get more shield, switch out my loadout. I do find that aspect rewarding.
And so I don't think that it's like bad by any means. I just think that it's done poorly.
Yeah.
I'm not having as much fun as I definitely could with a couple tweaks to these systems that I'm kind of like, how did you not figure this one out? With that being said, there's also during the raid phase a supply drop that drops, and that gives you the best shield that's in the game. It will give you just whatever the current shield is at, and also you will get the best gun in the game, which is an LMG that mows. I got a trophy yesterday that it's a really dumb trophy. It's pick up that gun and shoot 3 armored walls down on an enemy base. Mm-hmm. And literally I go, Matt, I'm busy. Just taking down 3 walls real fast. But that gun's awesome. And what I've noticed is the people that are playing the game well, they go for the supply drop during the raid phase.
If you want something to do during the raid phase and you need a little bit more action, that's a great change of pace for that phase. Will it spawn in during the first?
I don't know.
Phase? I don't, first go at the loot up phase.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think it comes in with purple shield, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's great. With that aspect, then you get to capture the flag. You're looted up. The other team's looted up. It doesn't. Everyone's got good guns at this point. I think that this is one of the best capture the flag modes I've played in a game ever. I think that this is where people that are saying the map is too big are just so stupidly incorrect. They're the way that the mounts work in this game, which we've not discussed enough. Shooting on mounts, riding mounts in this game, a lot of fun.
Utilizing the mounts for fun movement scenarios. I jumped off a big ramp on the mount, jumped, and then grabbed onto a zip line and got to where I needed to be. Wouldn't have been able to get to the zip line without the mount.
Yep.
I'm that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. But you are playing capture the flag, and the way this works, I almost want to I don't know how to visually describe this, but you're the battlefield, the flag's in the middle, and the distance between your flag and the base that it needs to be planted on is finely tuned in a way where you and your team, worst case scenario, you're gonna have 3 shots at that flag. You fight on the flag. If they team wipe you, they're able to push the flag far enough where you're able to go and get another fight in. And if they team wipe you again, most likely you will have a final stand right next to your base where they're trying to plant the flag and you're trying to take them out, wipe them out, so you can pick it up and start pushing it the other way. And the way that push and pull is done over those 2 minutes, it is as intense as possible because there's that 2-minute timer pushing it into overtime. It's if I have the flag and there's 15 seconds left, might as well try to get it over to them because overtime, it's going to equalize basically everything. But the gameplay moments of I have the flag right now. They have 3 people. It's overtime. My whole team is dead. I bang it outside. They teleport back to base, which is a great mechanic in this game because it resets basically the 50-50 nature of it. Of like, you're still gonna have 3 attempts if you teleport back to base in a timely enough fashion. It makes it epic, and I'm running, and they're coming out, and I find one, and I dodge bullets for the other one, get it down. The plant, the time to plant is immediate. It's good. Like if you get it there, you're going to get to plant the flag in the same way that you would in like a Halo.
It's been close. I've had some close call scenarios where somebody's about to come up and plant. I get them at the last fucking second. And that shit feels amazing.
It feels awesome.
And then you're able to pick it up and get it to the other side, and it feels incredibly rewarding because you know that you were almost very much fucked. Like a second ago.
Because best case scenario, if they plant it, you're able to get a reset. That's best case scenario. But so it makes it so consequential, this game and capture the flag. I think that it is extremely fun. Some people will be like, it's too long to get from place to place. You're not using your mount enough. If you think that this map is too big, it's because you're not using your mount enough.
Or you're not using the teleport mechanic. So if the shield breaker gets past you, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't catch up. It's like, no, you got to just teleport back to base and get in front of them again.
And the game will tell you to teleport back to base too. Like it's trying to be like, use this mechanic that's in this game. Once again, I feel like we're going long on this review and discussion and everything. One, I think it's necessary because the conversation about this game, I think, is just very well misinformed more than anything else. Also, it's a little silly, but misinformed is the word I'll use for now. So stuff like that, capture the flag, this game mode in particular feels freaking awesome. Like I've had so many gameplay moments that are only Highguard moments that are extremely fun. And once again, I think that the biggest strength that this game has is its uniqueness. I'm hearing the term way too often. It is a jack of all trades, master of none. That's bullshit. This game, the capture the flag, is mastering that. There's the other moments are not good, like great by any means. Don't get me wrong, but like this is a really fun thing that I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm asking you, get in the comments, like what's a capture the flag mode that like you're playing right now in 2026 that like feels this good? Like Halo feels great, but Halo across the board feels great.
Yeah.
Like what's something that is focused on capture the flag that feels this good? I don't know. And as somebody that loves capture the flag, me and Matt were joking about it after the 1,000 game pod when I was like, hey, play Highguard with Connor and I later. I was like, capture the flag in this game is super fun. And he's like, I love a good CTF mode. And I'm like, really? Like what? Like which ones? And he's like, oh, you're right. Like a couple of Call of Duty back in the day and some other stuff. But it's like Halo, like we don't get capture the flag game modes. And yes, sure, it's only like 5 minutes of the game because of the way that the overtime works. But it means that every single kill really counts. Every single gunfight feels epic. Like those final stand moments are exactly what they should be. And so I think capture the flag in this game freaking rips. I think it's the best part of this game by like a country mile too.
I think the raids are the best part.
Well, personally. I think, and then a step down from that is the raid phase. So we've already discussed what the raid phase is. This is you going and having a moment of trying to get into the other team's base. I'm going to say that we're on offense in this scenario, right? You get 6 lives. Unless you have that person that can give you more lives and do that
6 lives, and then your 1 life you start with.
Yeah, and the life that you start with. So you basically
6
have
respawns.
Great way to say it. You have 3 shots. If you team wipe 3 times, you're done. And you can gift lives in that scenario. Anyways, the siege phase, you're trying to plant the bomb. You're trying to get into this base. The base selection that you have at the start of the game, I think, is being underrated right now. Because it's different. It changes up the site that you're planting on all the time. Like your team comp plus what base you are raiding makes each game feel different than the last one. It does not feel samey at all with the different bases. And they added another base this weekend already.
It's like playing on a different Call of Duty map or Siege map or whatever. Which can really, people have their favorites. People have the ones that they don't like. And I think that will kind of iron out with the different bases as time goes on with this game.
And they've done a great job with it. So you're then sieging. You're playing Search and Destroy, and Search and Destroy is a terrific game mode just in any game. It's great in Valorant. It's great in Siege. It's great in Call of Duty. Like it's just a blast. And in this game, with the gunplay that it has, with the the wardens that you have, I think it plays really fun, and it allows for a lot of those great gameplay moments. There is a moment in this game where it's me and one other person. This is like my go-to Highguard moment as of right now. It's me and one other person. We have no lives left. We're not getting any more troops coming in. The third person's done. They're out. And this other team we started the siege, it felt like 2 seconds ago. We were just getting mowed down. But I use a dome splitter, which goes, like I said, it opens up like an eighth of their shield, so you have to funnel in from one spot. The dome splitter, something you can pick up during the Ludo phase, allows you to be able to siege from a different spot on their shield.
2 entry points.
Exactly. I go use the dome splitter, open up an area, place a bomb, start sieging through one of their walls, get the bomb down. This other person, as I'm like planting the bomb, fends one person off. They die. I revive them. There's 40 seconds on the clock, and me and this person hold down, just finding kills, just making it happen. And it's a 3v2 every time. And like the amount of times that I would die and they would pick me up, but they got the third person, so that's all that mattered. They get the revive, and then they would die. And then I'm in a corner with a shotgun as someone's trying to like confirm their kill. I find the shot right before they confirm it, pull off the revive, and then we explode up that base, and then we win the game. And it's freaking awesome. Like that type of gameplay moment, once again, with the systems in place, very interesting. Because in a search and destroy in a Call of Duty, if I killed their team that one time, round 2. This allows them to keep coming, and it feels different. I don't think that this is perfect by any means. I love playing Siege, and I loved, I should say, past tense. It's been 5 years since I picked up Siege. But I love playing Siege. I always will enjoy playing Valorant, even though it takes years off my life. And I enjoy playing in the Call of Duty, a search and destroy mode. But like, it's really fun in this game too.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. And so when we're talking about like these 4 phases, I think that it is good. Like, if you have a long match and you're in the rotation 3 different or 4 different times, where you're able to get both bases down to 5 HP, which I've had a couple of those, and they're a blast. You're doing this rotation for 40 minutes, about 6-8 minutes, or 6 to 8 minutes are boring or lackluster between the first phase and the looting up phase.
That's 3 minutes.
If you do it 3 times, it's 1 minute once, okay. And then it's 2 minutes for looting. So yeah, like 9 minutes, whatever. Where it's a little bit uninteresting. But then those 30 minutes are really fun, and they're really good, and they're well tuned. Like, and so some of this game is not content complete, and I part of me wants to like be like review so far. But I played it for 20 hours. I kind of know what this game is at this point. It's more what are they going to do after the fact. But the game right now, I think, is very good. Certain things are unexcusable when it comes to like multiplayer stuff. Like, I've also seen gameplay on PS5. I'm playing this thing on a very nice PC. It runs like a charm. But it is very demanding for certain things. The reason your camera didn't work when we were streaming it was how demanding it was on a computer. I did a little research into that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, which is a 20 gig game.
Well optimized.
It's not well optimized. No. So that needs to be better. Some of the, like...
There's some hit detection problems?
Yeah. Some of the shots don't feel great. Like, I also think that some of the time to kill stuff it's well tuned when everyone does have proper shield stuff. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel great when either you're under shield or they are over shield. Right. Which you just be like, why doesn't everyone just get the equal shield then? Sometimes it's like, well, the game should design it so the shield in the looting phase matters more just in general, and it doesn't feel like that. So I think that overall with Highguard, I want to see where it goes. I'm excited that there's a 3v3 game that feels like this because we can pull it out whenever and have a blast with it. Every single time I've played with you, every single time I've played with Matt, every single time I've played with Brady, I've had a freaking blast. Playing this game solo, not that fun. It is a game not made for solos. I am relatively, I would say, really good at this game at this point. Then again, I've put in more time than a majority of the people that are playing this game, so I should be pretty good. If you were using the systems properly, this game is a tactical shooter. I don't think that this game is for everyone. I think that is an issue. I think there should be ranked day one. Yeah. The fact, like, if you're talking about a tactical shooter, the way everything that I just said was this is a tactical shooter. Allow the casuals to play 3v3 and hop in for a couple hours with their buddies after work. Have a ranked mode for the people that are going to be streaming this.
Gives a little bit more stakes to each match.
Also, just like, where's my progression system? Right. The first battle pass being free, by the way, also awesome. This team, in my opinion, they're doing all the right decisions. Do I think this game needed a 5v5 mode? No. Do I think that it's cool that it's there and it's another option to play. Absolutely, it's more content.
Right.
And also, like, I was talking to you about this and to Matt about this. I had multiple people come into my chat on Thursday morning while I was playing it solo and be like, I want to give this game a shot, but me and my buddies, we're fours. We play in a squad of 4. And like, how many games do have squads in it? A lot. And so when you're not able to do that with your game, you are limiting your the amount of people that you can play with. The fact that you can hop in with 4 and then bring in a random and go and run with 5s, it's chaotic. It's fun. You will get in more gunfights. There's more people. It feels like you have less control on the game, obviously, going from 3v3 to 5v5, because the moment that I just said of it's 2v3, that can't happen in a 5v5 because they
just find yourself in situations where you're getting shot by 4 people at once.
Yep.
It's like, this isn't fun. Like, you feel like you don't have the ability to take over a particular round where you can completely team wipe when you have so many people in the mix.
Then again, though, overtime still is epic in that. The capture the flag mode is still epic in that. I think Siege is a little bit worse in it because like you don't have the opportunity to take over. But them adding 5v5. Where I want to turn this conversation to briefly, I don't want to go too long on this. You've had your moments of talking about this already on different pieces of content. I've had my moments of talking about this on different pieces of content. The conversation around this game is ridiculous.
I want to bring somebody in here real fast then. From Easton Coleman, they say, I know the conversation has been negative about the game because of the Game Award situation, but have we considered the possibility that the buzz around this game, whether it be positive or negative, may pique a lot of people's interest into trying it when they otherwise wouldn't? We may not necessarily have a heavily saturated market of hero shooters right now, but the genre is dominated by a few games with loyal players like Valorant, Marvel Rivals, and Overwatch. Any game trying to make it in this space is going to need to get the public's attention and curiosity somehow to get them off their current comfort game. I don't know if I necessarily agree or disagree yet, but I wanted to ask you guys if you think additional conversation around the game could be pulling in a larger player base if it were to have been just another announcement buried in the middle of the Game Awards.
I'll let you respond to that first because I think I know exactly what you're going to say, and I agree with it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree that I think this game would have been completely sent out to die if it was a trailer in the middle of the Game Awards. I think best case scenario, it peaks at 10K all time, potentially, and maybe starts to pick up steam just from good word of mouth. But I think that Jeff putting it at the end of the Game Awards because he was stoked about it got this on so many more people's radar. The fact that it was close to 100,000 on the first day of people just giving it a go, that would have not happened otherwise.
I completely agree with everything you just said. Here's my issue with the conversation about this game. Hits 100,000 players or right beneath it. People were playing it because they wanted to. Some were curious. Some people didn't like it. This game's not perfect. This game's not even great right now. But some people wanted to go and play this game for 2 seconds just to be able to hop into the conversation about it and not give this game a fair shake. Because before this game came out, the conversation before it came out was just rooted in negativity and hatred for what I would like to say is no reason.
No reason.
You can't. First and foremost, this team is, I'm not going to say that it's a small team. Like, they were able to go and have media and, like, have a proper press release and stuff like that.
They're an indie studio, though,
but they are an independent studio. They're not EA. And people are being upset when they're like, why would you put the makers of Titanfall and Apex in there? And it's like, well, because they've made Titanfall and Apex.
Yeah.
And the gunplay feels a lot like Apex. And guess what? I'm not even Mr. Apex, but gunplay in Apex is pretty good.
It makes it so if you're a fan of those games, you might be more interested in checking this one out.
If you're going to be upset at anyone, be upset at Jeff Keighley. And I don't even think you should be upset at Jeff Keighley.
Neither.
But if you are upset with someone, you should not be upset and take it out on this game.
But Jeff Keighley did them a favor.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
100%.
Like,
but also, I think that Jeff, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, the one thing that I know for a fact about Jeff Keighley at this point, I've studied the Game Awards, I've seen this man's career. I think that he's had an illustrious career in the games industry. I know for a fact that this man does love video games. He cares. There's many people in this industry that don't actually fully care. Jeff Keighley's not one of them. And he played this game, and he really enjoyed it. And as somebody that is playing this game right now and is really enjoying it, is it perfect? No. Did it deserve the final spot in the Game Awards? I don't think so. I think that was a bad idea for the award show. But he believed in this team, and he believed in this game, and he's the lead showrunner on the Game Awards. So He decided to put it at the last spot.
And I can understand. I can wrap my head around somebody checking this game out and being really high on it.
Yeah. And so I also think that it necessarily wasn't Jeff setting this team up for failure in the way that a lot of people were saying. I think that this is the way that the internet right now is failing gaming.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Like, what happened to my hobby, man?
Like I went on a large rant, and I didn't like I don't like getting angry too often just in my life. Like I like to stay on positive, just like I like to smile and like to be positive. But I got pretty just like, what are we doing sort of moment. I'll leave it at this though. As I've collected my thoughts over the past week with the conversation of this game, video games are cool. We all love video games. If you're listening to this podcast, you most likely love video games. Your favorite game was not your favorite game until you played your favorite game. Try things. We say it all the time. Try genres that you're not super into all the time. Sure, there's certain things that aren't going to be for you, but occasionally make sure to give different genres a shot. Be fair to video games, because these devs, Highguard devs, but I'll go developers, large scope, put their fucking heart and soul in the work that they do. A lot of people work long hours. A lot of people are making games because they want to play it. You look at the Highguard team and what they said before the game came out. They had people staying at the office, playing this game late night, having a blast with it because they just wanted to hang out more and play this game more and make sure that it was as good as it could possibly be. I understand that. I could totally imagine being wherever they're stationed at, grabbing pizza, playing this game, having a LAN party set up, boom, having a blast. This is a major issue. I'm not going to solve it. But I'm damn sure not going to be a part of it. Yeah. I think that the people that are using a game like this to breathe negativity into this thing that we all love, for whether it be clicks or exposure or whatever the hell, I think that it is objectively lame. If you did not play this game, and you've not played this game, and you never will, and you have the gall to take the time out of your day to want to speak negatively about it or write a Steam review or do whatever, really think you can go and kick rocks. Like you
must have something better to do.
Exactly. like what are you doing? Like do something else.
Go do something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like I want that for you, truly. Yeah. Because that's what this is about. We're supposed to be, we're supposed to get joy out of this hobby, not this overwhelming sense of negativity and sadness. I really don't think people understand what they're even asking for when they hop on this hate train. Like, best case scenario for what you're looking for here is that this game gets shut down and a bunch of people lose their fucking jobs. Like, how soulless can you possibly be?
And then, to the credit of, and I'm talking large scope, but now to the credit of this Highguard team, there's a lot of people that have this week given legitimate critique to this game.
Yeah.
And do I think that they needed a 5v5 mode? No, I don't. Did they add it in because a lot of people did? And those people are, by the way, correct. Like they, in their mind, they're like, this. I'm critiquing this game. I think this needs a 5v5 mode. I saw that so often. The fact that they were, I promise you, worked their ass off. I don't know what the hours were, but guess what? It wasn't flipping a button. Boop, there's 5v5 mode. That's not how that works. Like, this team had to get their shit together, work hard, and make that happen. And I at least give them the freaking credit that they deserve on that. We say all the time, there's many games that their community, they don't listen. That the developers don't listen to the community. They aren't listening to what they want. They did that work in freaking days to have a fun moment this weekend where we had something new and fun to try out. I'm very curious to see what the rank system is in a week. I want to play this game ranked a little bit, not to go all in on it. This isn't a forever game for me. It's not. And that's another issue that I have with this game. I don't think this game has the longest longevity ever. I think there will be a dedicated fan base that plays this competitively and has a great time with it. And that's fine. But to go and have this ridiculous conversation, and sure, we talked about it. Was this a bad thing for the Game Awards? Yes, but we're going to talk about that and be honest and critique it properly because
it's not the game's fault.
Yeah, but it's a deserved conversation. It's a necessary conversation. Yeah. But what I won't allow for is people to just be ridiculous. The fact that this game comes out and immediately is getting bombarded minutes into its life cycle with negative reviews is simply ridiculous.
I want to talk more about the reception and the community reception, what I've seen online, and I'm going to bring in Cannon Fodder Games here for his take as a good jumping off point. Have played all week with members of the community and have been having so much fun. Been itching to get on every night as the formula feels fresh. Once you figure out the rhythms of the match, each phase feels like its own thing with its own tactics, while most items and heroes feel viable and useful. I get it's not for everyone, but I am over here having a great time ignoring all the haters. And that's what I've seen in our Discord this week. A lot of people, hardcore gamers, checking this game out. And there's some people who have given it a go. There's some people who have platinumed the game in our community who are like, I don't particularly love this game. It's not exactly for me, but I see a lot of things and there's some positives here that I do enjoy, but I don't think it's going to be the game for me. I'm probably going to hop back to Arc Raiders. I think that's totally valid. And there's other people who are really having a ton of fun. Our voice channels are filled all the time with people having a blast. You can always get in there and have a lot of fun with the community, and it ranges from people who are think it's good to people who think it's great, people who have played a few hours of it, people who have played 30 hours of it over the course of the week. And I think that most of the reception at this point from people who have actually played the video game is positive. So it's really hard. Like, you go to comments on like certain TikToks talking about the game, and like I see tons of comments that are positive. Like, I really do believe that most of the negativity for this game is from people who have not even given it a fair shot and just want to dumpster on something because it's fun to do on the internet, and that's what the internet does nowadays. It sucks. It is so incredibly lame. I think leaning into that positivity and trying to drone out the negativity, if you're enjoying it, is an important way to look at it. But also, I think that being understanding of some critiques and not everybody liking it as much as you do is totally valid as well.
And I think this game can one day be great. As of right now, review so far, whatever you want to call it, review on February 1st, 2026. It's a very good video game. It's very fun to play, has a lot of issues, has a lot of very high highs. I really just... closing out on this, because like you and I have had more conversation about this game in the past week in Discord calls as we're playing it, on phone calls or in the middle of the day, and it's just like I'm not gonna say this is the greatest game ever, because it's not, but I can't like what happened to our medium is a great way to say it. Like, what happened to this game? We all love video games here, like, and I'm just so like.
If you go online, you would think that everybody hates everything when it comes to video games nowadays. That the entire industry is burning, and that the quality that we saw in like the PS2, PS3 generation is just completely gone. And that's just not true. I feel like it's better than ever. Honestly, I mean, there's some negatives that have propped up that have come up with innovations and AI and stuff like that. But there's also just a lot of good as well. Indie games are better than they've ever been. You're getting more creativity and quality on that side of gaming than ever before.
And then when you're talking about the big AAA teams, a lot of them are delivering still the epic experiences that you expect from a massive budget AAA experience. And I think that people, they want to say over and over again, we don't need another Souls game. We don't need another roguelike. We don't need another hero shooter. We don't need another X, Y, or Z. But it's the reminder that that hero shooter that's coming out might be someone's first game, might be their favorite game ever, might be something that goes and spurs them on to make the next Uncharted or The Last of Us or God of War or Halo or just all the games that we've all come to know and love, Expedition 33. Like, it takes a lot to want to love this and do this. And I think that the people that over at that studio, I like, your game's very good. Tip of the cap to you for not freaking imploding with the response that has happened, and you want to work hard to make this game better. I think that's really cool, and I think it's special. I think that this game is not special in the sense that it's another, like, certain aspects are for sure, but I think that a large aspect of this game is this game works really well because you can tell that the devs are really giving a shit about it. Very curious to see what ranked looks like. I'm very curious to see if 5v5 sticks around. I'm excited to talk about this game more on CGNC. I'm going to platinum this game. that like I've been working through the Steam achievements, and I somebody in our Discord said if you go and like log in on the same account, it pops all your trophies.
That's cool.
And by the way, cross plays in this game, like a lot of the good like basic stuff that you do need in a shooter nowadays are here.
Elden Ring Night Raid, take notice.
From software, come on. But like. I'll platinum it and then I'll probably put it down after that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be my moment where I'm like, all right, I'm done. But I'm excited to go and get my 10 axe kills. Like that's gonna be cool. I'm excited to take more people down on my mount. Like there's a couple of trophies that or achievements that I have left, and I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna stick around. I'm excited to stream with you on Monday. Like it's a good game. It just isn't a great game, but it is nowhere near as bad as people are saying. Right now, also it has a ridiculously low open critic, and it's on my fantasy critic teams, and it needs to be higher because it's also good.
Here, another wrinkle to add into this from Mr. Munchies. In my opinion, I believe the best situation for Highguard would have been to have an open beta instead of just launching without one. Although 90% of the gaming community is hating on this game just to bandwagon, I'd say another 5% is glazing the game when it really is lacking in certain areas. It's an okay game. It needs work, but it's really hard to hear people hate on a free game for zero reason. I'd give it a 6.5. Maybe a 7 out of 10.
I like a ton of what you said there, Munchies. I disagree with it. This needed an open beta because I think that this game, you only get one shot to make a first impression. And if the first impression of this game was the first impression that it had, but it was in beta compared to where it currently is at, I don't think that this game wouldn't change in a lot of ways.
I think that launching in beta and like being in a beta period for a few months before they go 1.0 would have kind of deflected some of the criticism about some of the aspects that aren't there. We're like, oh, it's in beta. Maybe it's okay that it doesn't have like proper key binding support.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Dude, I can't freaking toggle to talk on controller.
Yeah,
like in a competitive game. Like once again, I feel like 7.5 is this is one of the weirdest games I've ever had to review in my very short career. Like very weird. I've talked to you so much about this game with like. Man, I just had this awesome match moment. It was sick, but also, what the hell is wrong with this aspect? Like, and so the result is a 7.5. But like, I feel like there's certain things that are just perplexing, and it could have been ironed out in a beta. But also, I think that having 100,000 people try it out on Steam initially and be curious, and the fact that it's retained about 10,000 people on Steam, which by the way, we got to remember that Steam isn't everyone. Like I feel like that is a number that people utilize to be like, there's only like 40 people playing Concord right now. It's like, no, there's 120 people playing Concord. Okay, don't forget about the PlayStation players. But like in this scenario, it is like, yeah, there's probably like 30,000 people hopping in, having fun. And I think that having crossplay, hopping in with Matt last night, he didn't have performance issues. He got kicked one time. I haven't had his own performance issues. I did get kicked one time, but that was day one. I don't hold that against it. Yeah, like. It's a mixed bag that results in a very good video game. I'm very curious to see where it lands. And like, ask me in like 2 weeks. Because also, guess what? I feel confident that this team is going to freaking cook in the next 2 weeks and make sure that like this game, it's going to take a lot of work. If they're able to do a limited time mode literally every weekend, like just rotate a limited time mode. Hey, we're going to do 5v5. Next week, 6v6. Week after that, we're going to bring 5v5 back. Week after that, we're going to do only capture the flag. Like, and just have it be 1st to 3, like stuff like that. Like, capture flag in this game is so much fun. I would love just a straight CTF mode in this game, and I would like
could do a TDM in just one of the bases.
Yep. Like keep it going. Like if you're able to go and find a good rotation there, this game could legitimately be something that sticks around, and we're talking about in a year from now. Connor and I literally discussed this. Like, there's a non-zero chance that like this is a 7.5 that I talk about for the rest of the year. If I continue to play this game, which there's not a non-zero chance, I just get busy, and then with the other games, February is pretty crazy. We discussed that at the start of the pod. But I wouldn't be shocked if like there's gonna be a moment in like June where we have nothing to play on group stream, and if there's a cool game mode that drops around it in Highguard, I will be one of the people on this team being like, this is an option because I had fun with this game in a way that like I would like to play 3 hours with you and Brady, because especially it sings when you're playing with buddies. It's a lot of fun. I know that I've talked a lot on this podcast thus far. Thank you for listening to a lot of it. This review was a blast. It was a lot, because it was just a lot of negatives and positives. But Connor, tell me a bit about this Resident Evil Requiem. You got to play 3 hours.
Yeah. So first and foremost here, I want to say that there's no way to talk about this preview that I got to play, this demo that I got to play, without spoiling like some aspects of the game. Like talking about the first few areas, talking about some of the enemies. If you want to know nothing, skip to the next portion.
Yeah,
of the podcast.
time codes down below.
But I'm not going to talk about any story things or anything like that.
He's previewing the game.
Yeah.
So whatever you expect a preview to be for any video game, that is what we're going into.
And shout out to Capcom for the opportunity. And shout out to you guys, because the only reason we get to do these things, which are really cool experiences, because of your guys' support and allowing us to do this. So I really appreciate that. So first and foremost, we hop into the demo. Leon, we're playing as the ultimate badass. You saw this little section in the Resident Evil showcase. Third person, Leon Kennedy. You can switch to first person. I did not do that until later when I was playing as Leon again. But in this section, you're fighting your traditional zombie fare. You're doing your roundhouse kicks. You can shoot enemies like in the knee and do like these unique finisher moves or whatever, and they're badass. They're over the top. They're bloody. They're gory. It's really a lot of spectacle playing as Leon. You feel powerful. And then also there's like an enemy with a chainsaw that's coming at you. And I do want to highlight that like when the enemy with the chainsaw is coming at you, they move so sporadically, like left, right, and it's really difficult to line up a headshot in that moment. So that was very stressful. But when you finally do get them on the ground and are able to pick up that chainsaw, it feels all the more satisfying because of that. And the chainsaw feels great. It's cool. It's a cool callback to Resident Evil 4 with the chainsaw enemy in that first area.
Yep, legendary.
And now finally being able to pick up the chainsaw. I'm very curious to see as the game progresses if there's any unique weapons similar to the chainsaw as we go along. But we only got to see the one here, as you saw in the showcase, and I got to experience in the demo. And then this is a short, like 20-30 minute section. And then you hop back in as Grace. First person, you can switch to third person. I bounced back and forth throughout this 2-hour stretch of getting to explore this environment. And as I said in the short form preview, I don't feel super strongly on which one is better. Yeah. I could see myself playing all the Grace sections in first person and all the Leon sections in third person. I can see myself wanting to play the entire game in first person and then do a replay and play it all in third person. I can see myself switching back and forth just on a whim throughout the entire experience as well. And I think it's cool that you can get a little bit of a different experience on replays if you play it a little bit differently when it comes to the perspective. Grace's section, this area you get to explore feels very reminiscent of the Baker House, Lady D's castle. Doesn't feel as iconic of a location. Like I don't necessarily, it feels a little bit bland. Like you're in this like mental institution, lots of doors to unlock, lots of key cards to find. But I don't feel like it has like this really unique identity in comparison to something like the Baker House in Resident Evil 7. But
Spencer Mansion, RE1.
Right. Yeah, it's not the Raccoon City Police Department. It's not in that, it's not to that level, but it's still fun enough. And I think that the thing that really elevates it is the enemy variety in this area. Something that has been highlighted is that like the zombies have a little bit of their soul left in them. They have like unique aspects because of who they were before they became infected. So for example, there's like this like bar singer zombie that will do their little tune and stun you in your where you currently are, and that'll allow other zombies to like come up and hit you. So you have to strategically kind of find your way to around that enemy or to eventually kill that enemy. And there's various other enemies that have similar unique aspects to that are fun to experience and fun to work your way around. But when you're in this environment, it's your traditional Resident Evil 7, 8 fare. You're looking for ammo. You're looking for crafting materials. You're looking for healing items. Your green herbs make a return finally. But there's also this aspect of like blood where you can use this like syringe, this medical tool to suck up some blood, and it has like a cap out for how much you can carry on you, and you can utilize that blood to mix with these crafting materials to make certain items. Usually you can make you can do ammo, or there's a unique item that you can utilize to kill a zombie from behind and taking him out in one shot, so it adds a nice layer to stealth in this game. There is quite a bit of stealth in this game. There are scenarios, like I said, with the unique enemies where there's certain ones that you cannot take on. There's like this big hulking massive enemy that will block the hallway, that like you have to go around them and find a different route. There's also another enemy that will do a ton of damage, so you want to creep up behind them and try to sneak your way into where you're going to next. And then there's also scenarios where you just seemingly are going to be overwhelmed by the amount of zombies and they're walking through an area, and you can decide like, okay, I'm just going to hide behind this and let them pass so then I can conserve my ammo. Or you can be like, I have enough ammo right now, let me take all these guys out right now so I don't have to deal with them later. And that's really cool as well. There's also like collectible coins that can get you different upgrades. There's those little statues that are in Resident Evil 4 and I think also in 7 and 8, but you can find those and shoot them. They're just another collectible to search for. I imagine there's a trophy attached to it probably. But it was a lot of fun. It's very tense in these stealth sections. There's a lot of dark corridors, a lot of unique freakos to find, winding paths that are really fun to find new key cards to then be able to get into new areas and then backtrack to previous areas. Now with that new key card that you have. Very traditional Resident Evil fare.
I feel like that's something that's not discussed enough, is like level design in Resident Evil. Like it was done really, really well. So it's good to hear that that's the case in RE9 thus far.
So it's very intense, but it doesn't feel like a major juxtaposition from the Leon sections. It all feels kind of natural, like where you have these over the top moments, but you as Leon, but they're still stressful. They're still semi scary just to be in this space with these horrifying monsters. Resident Evil 4 is it more of an action game than a horror game, but it still maintains some of that horror, and I think that's why people really are drawn to that particular entry. And you see that in Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is very akin to that. It still maintains the scares enough to where it doesn't feel like a completely different game than the Grace sections. And then once you finish out that Grace section, you're put back into the shoes of Leon Kennedy, and you get the opportunity to go back through these environments that you were just exploring, that you've already been through. And Leon, with his axe, can open up certain wardrobes that were like kind of glued shut, and he can like pop them open, and now you can get new items from those. So it's really fun to re-explore these areas. It's also really fun to go up against these different unique enemy types that you could not take on as Grace, that now, because you're the ultimate badass, of course, you can fucking unload your shotgun into them and take them down. So these things that were really frightening and scary and stressful to deal with, now you feel so empowered, and you have this history with them as Grace, but now you're seeing it as Leon, and you have a whole different perspective on these particular enemies, and that's really cool. So yeah, man, like I cannot wait for this fucking game. I think that this is going to be really incredible. As I said for my thesis in the short form, this is really a great marriage of Resident Evil 7 and 8 and 9. It's so good. Sorry, 7 and 8 and 4, rather, in Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9. It's great to be back as Leon. I love this character so much, and Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time, so it feels right at home just hopping back in to play as Leon. And then I think Grace can be another great Resident Evil protagonist alongside some of the greats of Chris Redfield and Claire and Jill and Leon, and also Ethan in 7. She feels very similar to Ethan. Like, she's vulnerable, but she is still capable. Like, which I think is a really good balance to strike for this character.
So, one quick question, and then we can move on. I think that the big question is the horror aspect of those first person sections. Like when we're talking about 8, especially that opening section of 8, I even feel like it sure is terrifying. The very slight spoilers for 8, like the most slight spoilers possible. You start out in a dark area, you feel completely vulnerable, but really fast you start getting into a capable Ethan Winters like moments. It feels like it doesn't feel like you're where does the horror, but compared to 7 at the start, where it is
you're really
freaking
vulnerable for a long time.
Yeah, like you are
with Jack chasing you around.
Exactly,
like,
and the fright of that
well,
increases.
we got to play that demo
in August.
Of an earlier section where you're playing as Grace, and I would say that's more akin to the early areas in Resident Evil 8.
And where I would come in there is that section. Well, once again, we played about 20 minutes back in August. It was terrifying. Like, I, as someone that is
I'm so desensitized to this shit at this point that I do not find any of this particularly like super scary. Like, I compare it to how I felt playing Resident Evil 2 Silent Hill 2 remake last year, and or 2 years ago.
2 years ago, crazy 2024.
Jeez Louise, time, not night and day. I was way more scared playing Silent Hill 2 remake than this.
Silent Hill 2 remake is arguably the scariest game I've ever played. But anyways, when it comes to those sections, I don't think that Resident Evil 7 is a different breed of scary, I would say, as of right now, and I don't think that it's as scary from what we did in that earlier section. But I do think that it might have been a good idea, and this is just one editorializing off of what you're saying and everything. It might have been a good idea that it wasn't so juxtaposed between Leon and Grace, because then you could have those moments where, like, man, I really wish I was playing as one or the other. And them shortening that gap a little bit, making it still scary, but it's still atmospheric and still Resident Evil between both.
I'm curious how they pace these two characters out, because it switches you automatically when you get to a certain story moment for each of them. And I'm really curious, like, okay, if they can strike a good balance here, where like when I was playing as Grace for 2 hours, it's like, oh, I'm really excited to go back to playing as Leon. And then if I'm playing for Leon for a certain amount of time, I hope that by the end of that session, I'm excited to go back to Grace, because they are both great. Like, I never feel like I'm losing something substantial by switching to the other one.
And then Connor, like, you've played more Resident Evil than me. You've played 1 remake, 2 remake, 4 remake.
Played 1, 2, 3, 4 remake. We played Resident Evil 5 together. I've not played Resident Evil 6. I've played Resident Evil 7 and 8.
Yeah. So you've not played OG 2, which is, I feel
OG 2, 3.
Yep.
I've played OG 4.
Yep.
I've not played 0. I've not played Revelations.
Yeah. You haven't played any of the other offshoots. But my question is, as someone that has played more than me, do you think Pantheon that this can be up there, top 3 type of Resident Evil from what you played?
I mean, I hold Resident Evil 7 in a really high regard, and I also hold Resident Evil 4 in a really high regard. Like, Resident Evil 4 is a top 10 all-timer for me. Resident Evil 7 for the 50 greatest games of all time kicked off the list.
Yeah, right? What was that, 50 a couple years ago?
I think it's lower now.
More games will come out.
Right. But it's melding a lot of what I love from those two games, and I think that it could easily be top 3 Resident Evils all time if it keeps this up. Like, I'm so stoked. And as I said in the short form as well, like, I came away from this and I was excited when we did our most anticipated. I think Resident Evil Requiem was top 3 for me.
It might have been 3 or 2, I want to say, off the top of my head.
It's firmly my number 1 after this. Like, I've been thinking about it constantly since getting to experience this 3 hours, and I think that it could be really something special. And I think Resident Evil fans are fucking feasting right now. Capcom, man, just cooking when it comes to Resident Evil specifically. They don't miss. I know Resident Evil 3 Remake was a bit of a step down for a lot of people, but even then, I think that's a pretty good game, all things considered. It's just not nearly on the caliber of Resident Evil 2 Remake and 4 Remake and Resident Evil 7 and 8, but, like, goddamn.
Heck yeah,
dude. Get Code Veronica remake next year. That's the rumor.
The rumor around there, yeah.
Like, man, like they're just firing on all cylinders when it comes to Resident Evil. So I'm very excited for this one.
Cool, dude. I'm happy. You literally were like, hey, like, can we go a little bit longer on Resident Evil? I'm like, you got more to say, you got more to say. And
it might be a little redundant if you watch the short form, but I think there's a lot of people who listen to this podcast who don't watch any short form that we do.
Well, that, and then also I was tossed out the fact that you went for like 20 minutes on that compared to 6 minutes or so. 4 minutes? Crazy. Yeah. So I'm happy that you got to go more in depth, because 3 hours is a meaty chunk of a video game for sure. So yeah, that's cool, man. All right, dude. We got a draft to do.
Now we got Q&A.
Oh my gosh.
These are some quick ones, I think.
Yeah, real quick though. The Q&A, the mailbag existed because we didn't have initially the Resident Evil preview.
But I also thought that for the Highguard review, I thought that was going to be 30 minutes maximum.
Yes, and by the way, that was on like Tuesday when we decided what the ball was going to be.
And then yesterday I was like, We didn't really spend different audiences for each of our platforms, and I only got to talk 4 minutes on Resident Evil Requiem. We might as well talk about it more and fill out this episode. If you're not interested in Highguard and interested in Resident Evil, which I think probably more people are interested in Resident Evil than Highguard, this gives you something to enjoy in the podcast.
And then also Mailbag was the other idea of something to enjoy outside of it. But all right,
real quick from Burger's Wonderful World, what do you think Nintendo's path for Donkey Kong is from here post Bonanza? Do we get a direct sequel at some point during the Switch 2 lifecycle, or is the next entry also going to be a different gameplay style, like a Country Series type 2D experience or something else?
I think that they want to send it with Donkey Kong. This is something that they're showing through other financial decisions, aka theme parks in this example.
And
that
rumored movies.
Exactly, that they want to go all in on Donkey Kong, and I think that that's a relatively good idea. So my thought process is Donkey Kong plays different than Mario. Like, it is a different feeling game when it comes to the 3D space. We've seen that with now what we know Donkey Kong Bonanza is. We will get Donkey Kong Bonanza 2. I don't know if it's going to be called Donkey Kong Bonanza 2, but there will be a Donkey Kong and Paulina game that is 3D in the future, if not on this system, to kick off the next Switch.
I would really like them to do a Super Mario Galaxy 2 situation with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't think you need to change the formula that much. Just add a little bit on top of it. Give me more layers to explore or whatever, or send Donkey Kong to space. Fuck it. I don't
Donkey Kong Galaxy Bonanza 2.
I would play the fuck out of that.
But when it comes to the 2D space, I do think that we'll get some potentially 2D, but I'm not saying that's guaranteed.
Nick thinks that Retro is going to make another Metroid Prime game.
Yes.
We discussed this on our planning out the life cycle for Nintendo Switch 2 bonus episode, but I think that they're going to go back and do a 2D Donkey Kong Country game.
That once again, I think that would be cool. I just don't necessarily think they need it, but also once again, I think Retro needs to get a ball through the hoop again. Like situation.
I was gonna say they need a ground rule double now, and they just need a win. Metro Prime 4 didn't go exactly how I think they probably had hoped. There was a lot of outside noise apparently coming from Nintendo of America on certain gameplay aspects that people ended up not liking in that game. So I think that they really can't fuck up Donkey Kong Country. I think it's just the formula is too goddamn good that if Retro Studios just make something even on the level of Donkey Kong Country Returns, I think a lot of people are going to be about it. I don't think it's going to be this like 20 million seller or anything, but it will help bolster the Donkey Kong brand alongside the mainline 3D Donkey Kong games. And as you said earlier, Nintendo seemingly wants to make this their third pillar. Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong. And I think it has the potential to do that.
I would say, I wouldn't even say potential. I think that it's going to be like you. Where there's a will, there's a way. And when you have the funding that Nintendo has, and also Donkey Kong's fun, and it's been around. It's a legacy title too, compared to something like an Animal Crossing too. So I could easily see this being a thing for sure.
Yeah, because you can't make Animal Crossing into like a movie franchise. Yeah. Maybe you can make it. I think there is an Animal Crossing movie.
I think you could do a really cool Animal Crossing horror movie. It would be a lot of fun.
Tom Nook is the killer.
Tom Nook is the killer. Isabella is his co-conspirator.
Isabella would never work with Tom Nook if he was a killer.
Villager, you know how when they look at bugs, they have the magnifying glass. I got it, Connor. The next Knives Out movie is done in the Animal Crossing style. It is voiced by Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc. Dude, Tom Nook did it, I swear to God.
From Dan Rowe.
Real quick, that's not good after recollecting post, and I go, I'm the biggest Tom Nook fan on the planet. Oh, that's funny.
From Dan Rowe, with the Steam Machine hopefully coming out this year, how exclusive will games be to the console? Obviously, there is a heavy rumor of Half-Life 3 coming to the system, but will there be a plethora of exclusives, or will it just be a system that can house Steam on a home console?
I'm very sorry. This is a really boring answer. There will be no exclusives on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, specifically I think there will be PC exclusives, though.
You can play Deadlock on this thing.
A lot of people will play on their Steam machine.
100%.
And I do hope that Half-Life 3 is the start of a new era for Valve where they start to focus more on software. They were fucking pumping out high quality, top tier shit for a long time. Left 4 Dead, Portal, Half-Life, they just don't do it like they used to. Obviously, Deadlock has been in beta for what feels like 3
Apparently
years
it's
now.
awesome too.
And apparently it's fantastic, and I'm sure it is. We should check that out at some point.
Apparently they just did an update recently that's awesome. That's one that let us know if you'd be interested in watching the boys play Deadlock.
Between Deadlock and Half-Life 3, hopefully they can snowball this into more quality software titles.
Real quick, don't want to go too long on this. When do we see this thing next, dude?
Steam machine?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably the next 3 months.
I was saying we're getting there. It is how it feels. Because this thing was supposed to release first half of 2026. Like that was the end of the trailer and everything. So yeah,
they haven't announced any adjustments.
Exactly. So where are we at with this thing? It's the weird part. It's like GTA. It's like literally tomorrow we could get something, and I wouldn't be shocked.
From Justice with the last inquiry, do you think there's a correlation with hours played and best/favorite games played? My most played Steam game is Rocket League, and I promise that is neither my best/favorite game.
I mean, you nailed it. Valorant for me is a most played game. I have a love-hate relationship with Valorant, and like I legitimately, the reason I come back to it is to play with you and Brady because I like playing games with you, but I don't love Valorant. Like I don't, and I've played 500 hours of Valorant at least.
Well, there's got to be some level of quality associated with people wanting to put hundreds and hundreds of hours into your
I'm not saying that
game.
Valorant's a bad game, but I'm saying that like when it's best/favorites ordeal, I don't think that Valorant's necessarily the best shooter of all time, and it's not one of my favorites, and I put a ton of time into it.
For me, I would say favorite plays in with hours played in a game.
Fortnite. Played hundreds of hours of Fortnite. Is Fortnite one of your favorite games?
No, but I've played way more Valorant.
I know,
Fortnite.
but
so if I'm going to take a multiplayer experience that I've sunk a ton of hours into, I'm going to take Valorant over Fortnite. But a big part of the reason that I'm taking Valorant in the first place is because I've spent thousands of hours in it, making some of the best memories I've had playing video games, period. Is it a flawed game? For sure. It has plenty of issues, but I love it to bits.
All right. Is it draft o'clock?
Let's do it.
You get first pick. I think I got the last one. Ready?
Yep.
Today, we are drafting video game 4s. Video games that have the number 4 in the title. Connor, what is your first pick?
My first pick is going to be Resident Evil 4, the pinnacle of the series. And we're taking Resident Evil 4 OG. That's my preferred version of the game. Hopping into the shoes of the ultimate badass, Leon Kennedy, the perfect marriage between action and horror. And the series kind of went off the rails from here, going too far in the action direction. This is where they struck a perfect middle ground.
With my first pick, I'm choosing Resident Evil 4 Remake. No, I'm kidding. That's off the board. I'll take it off my board. I mean, this is an obvious number 1 pick for me. With my first pick, I'm choosing Uncharted 4, the greatest action adventure game of all time. It is a masterpiece. Uncharted 4 is top in class in cover shooting, storytelling, just being freaking awesome. Uncharted 4 is my first round pick. And with my second pick, I'm going to choose Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The video game that basically changed multiplayer games forever. A little shipment action, Connor? Come on, baby! I love Modern Warfare 4. Great game. That's going to be my first pick, or second pick.
With my second pick, I'm going to go with GTA 4, my personal favorite of the franchise. Nico Bellic, the best protagonist in Grand Theft Auto history. Driving around Liberty City never got old, and it has some great missions to boot as well. Shoot. Okay, this is tough. I can either play with my heart here or I can play to win. And I'm going to play with my heart. I'm going to go with Halo 4 with my third pick. I know that some people don't exactly love this game, but this is top 3 Halo for me personally. The best story, the most personal story in the Halo franchise. The dynamic between Chief and Cortana is top of class. It's so fucking good, and the gameplay is fantastic as well.
That would have been a great 5th pick, Connor. Yeah. Great 5th pick.
I want to pick games that I've played all the way through.
I know. Well, I'm gonna not do that eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep. I'll play with my heart enough to keep it interesting. With my third pick, I'm choosing Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. This game's freaking awesome. It is the conclusion in the sequel to an entire trilogy of games, and it's kind of sick. Does it get a little bit annoying when there's so many cutscenes? Sure, but when those cutscenes are literally some of the dopest stuff in all of video games, I'm okay with it. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriot with my third pick. And with my fourth pick, I will select. With my fourth pick, I'm going to select Left 4 Dead 2, a game that I am not super familiar with, that I played many years ago, but I just know it's one of the GOATs. And at some point, you got to just go and recognize one of the GOATs. And this is a good way to do it. If I'm not going to yap about it on a podcast, might as well take it in a draft. Left 4 Dead 2 was my fourth pick.
With my fourth pick, I'm going to go with Assassin's Creed for Black Flag. This is the pinnacle of the series for me. I love the location. I love going from island to island and just getting up to pirate shenanigans, baby. I don't exactly love the general combat of Assassin's Creed games, so being able to hop on a ship and do the ship-to-ship combat was a nice change of pace for me and really elevated this experience. With my fifth pick, we're going to go with Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, a game that I learned to really respect in the last year with the remastered version of this game. A great world to really just sink into with really well-written characters and some excellent questing, and some great DLC as well with the Shivering Isles, apparently. So, yeah, that's going to be my final pick here.
Connor, you know me, I'm a simple man. If I can give a fighting game some love, I'm gonna do it. With my final pick, I'm choosing Street Fighter 4, a game that has no right to be as good as it is. It's just a great Street Fighter game.
Yeah, I feel like 4 has kind of gone by the wayside in comparison to 2 and 3, and then 5 is obviously not good. 6 is very popular, but 4, like, now that it's kind of like the fourth one up is on people's top list for Street Fighter, it's kind of
weird
getting forgotten
because Street Fighter 4 was one of the PS3 360 games.
Right.
Like, it was one of, like, if you're playing a fighting game, probably going to be Street Fighter 4.
Exactly.
So, a lot of talent left on the board. Persona 4.
Yeah, I played a decent amount of Persona 4. I've gone through the first 2 dungeons, but I didn't want to draft it because I don't have that much experience in it.
This is a weird one. I've played some Fallout 4. I don't love Fallout 4, so I didn't want to draft it.
I should have picked Fallout 4 over Oblivion.
Oh, Halo. Yeah, I thought that was going to be on your board for sure.
Fuck.
Far Cry 4 and Diablo 4 were the other 4s I had.
I played through Far Cry 4. I probably would have taken that over Oblivion, personally. I also
but Oblivion's going to give you some points.
I had Final Fantasy IV, a game that I've heard fantastic things about. It's really where the series kind of brought it to the next level when it comes to storytelling and characters. Have not checked it out personally, though, so I didn't want to draft it. Crash 4, It's About Time. Apparently one of, if not the best Crash game, and coming basically a decade or two between entries is kind of wild that they were able to go toe-to-toe with the best in the franchise of that original trilogy.
Shout out to one of our moderators, Big Mac, for Sly 4.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about that for a moment.
These in Time. When we were trying to remember the title of it, when we were naming 1,000 games, we didn't add it to the board because we couldn't remember the title.
If we did just add games that we thought...
Dragon Quest would have been huge.
Dragon Quest would have been huge. Like all the sports game, we would have milked another 15 out of each of those.
There's all the games that I know of but don't know the full title of.
Well, you gotta check out that podcast. That's good stuff. Shout out to our amazing members that support the channel over on patreon.com. You legitimately keep the lights and mics on here at Co-op64. We're very, very thankful if you are over on Patreon. I hope you're enjoying the content that you get over there.
Names immediately off the rip.
Yep. Thank you so much for your support. If you are over at the highest tier, you get your name read at the end of each and every podcast we do here at Co-op64. It's a new month, so we got some new names. Shout out to amazing members like Roland K.
A2 Tone Hooligan.
I listened to Hooligan from JBB this morning, and then I typed that out, and I was like, we're still back. Anyways, 40.
Awesome O.
G-Town.
Stellanator.
Humunga Dunga 64.
Knights Echoes.
Skull Sunderer.
Caleb Beef.
Squidalicious.
Silent Hills X.
Blake is a dog.
Cash Robinson.
Your boy Jake.
Cood.
JQP.
Pagey.
Pigeon Power.
John Byers.
Tyler.
Sir Shellis.
Raincoat 631.
Chuzar.
MG Dunbar.
Mr. Munchies.
Malcolm the dog.
Farmer Explode.
Rocket Tater.
Nofi.
The Degas Mike.
Swampy Bits.
Tristan C.
Sconesy C.
Aloha Alley.
Scooterman.
Centuro.
Hook'em Horns.
Go Nash.
Neutral Sphere.
Eli the Unusual.
Lunar Aurora.
Meow Chow.
Easton C.
No Marts rules.
Stubby Doobie.
Crispy.
DJ Zach B.
Jacob D.
Big Mac.
Mel Nate.
Bear Pog.
Oh
wait, the Patty
The
Cake.
Patty Cake. Bear Pog. Cowboy Jesus.
Mega.
Yogi.
Dom.
Holden M.
Shane O'Mac.
Brock.
Voodoo.
Milky Sins.
Reggie Ranks.
Alex the Golden.
Andrew H.
Master Diz.
Cam Fodder Games.
Only one Rufus.
J Matt B3.
Yeah. Snake.
Ali Benally.
Bikel.
And Kingdom Hearts Sucks. Thank you for joining us in this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.